त्रिशङ्कोर्वेदानुवचनम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमधो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मां ब्रह्म निराकरोत्। अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु। तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्मयेधि वेदस्य महाणि सः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधीतेन अहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारं तु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नो विवादय मनः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ भद्रं देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्य तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः।
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamada Yapurnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Pranaschakshushrotramathu Balamindriyani Cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Mama Brahma Nirakarod Anirakaranamastva Nirakaranam Me Astu Tadatmani Nirateya Upanishatsu Dharma Ste Mai Santu Te Mai Santu Om Shanti 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 Shruti Smriti Puranam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Ittiraksharamudgitamupasita Om Itishyudgayate Tasyopavyakhyanam Sakasmin Bhagavo Pratisthitah. Hey Bhagavan, the Bhuma, where is he established? Sri Mahimni established in his own glory. Na Mahimnidi. Abhi. That he is not even established in his own glory. Kasmat Punaha Na Kvachit Pratishtita iti uchyate. How can we say that Bhuma is not established anywhere? Yasmat Saiva Bhuma Adhastat. Because that Bhuma alone is below, and what is below, above, and what is above, and everywhere. Natad Vyatirekena Anyat Vidyate Yasmin Pratishthitasya. There is nothing other than Bhuma where Bhuma would possibly be established. For being established, the one that is established upon one who is established has to be two. There is nothing other than Bhuma where it could possibly be established. तथा उपरिष्ठाद इत्यादि समान जैसे सप्तम्यांतात् प्रथमांताद्वा अस्ताति इति प्रत्यय न अस्ति बट अस्ताति ति प्रत्यय है अस्ताति ऐसे प्रत्यय so अस्तात ऐसे प्रत्यय and then when e is added suddenly अस्ताति इति प्रत्यय है. So there is a special sutra where all this panchami, so prathama, panchami and saptami, all these three vibhaktis are applicable to certain words when astati means this stat pratyaya is added. So adhastat, the word is adha. There is an adesha of so and adhastat. Uparishtat, adhastat, then Uparishta, then Avasthat, I think. So that is how the start pratyaya is applied. It's a pretty, the adeshas all change and the meanings also change. So Dik Shabdebhyah. So all Dik means all directions, below, above, right, left. Saptami, Panchami, Prasamabhyah. Digdeshakaleshu Astatihi. So Disham Shabdaha, Dik Shabdaha. Those words that denote the directions or quarters, directions. Debhyah, Dik Shabdebhyah. Digdeshakaleshu Vartamanebhyah. In those Digdeshakaleshu Vartamanebhyah. So in this place and the time, Vartamanebhyah, things that are present in those directions. Saptami, Panchami, Prasamantebhyah. Statihi pratyaya. So when start pratyaya is applied, it can be either Saptami, can be Panchami or Prasama. Astati ikara takara paritranaartha. So takara is added, E is added there, so becomes T. In fact, it is only astat pratyaya, but then E is added, so that you don't forget that you pronounce it properly. So purastad vasati, purastad agatah, purastad ramaniyam. So purastad vasati, Saptami. He lives in front. Purastad agata Panchami has come from Purastad, from the front. Purastad ramaniyam, what is in the front is beautiful, Prasama. The word is Puras, in front. So Puras, Astat, so Astat is what happens is that Puras, the As goes away, the Adesha goes away, means the Puras word is replaced by word Pur. And then Astat Pratyaya, right? So Purastat. And then it becomes a indeclinable, avyaya, Purastat. Then similarly Adhas is a word. That is replaced by Adh plus Astat, Adhastat. So that's the Purastat and Adhastat. The Uparishtat is again a different thing. Upari Uparishtat, Upari Uparishtat iti etau shabdau nipatyate astate arthe. So in the Astade, in that Upari and Uparishtat, these words, so nipatyate. Urdhvasya upabhavaha Rikrishtatila ucha pratyao nipatyate. So Uparishtat vasati. Uparishtanil, Uparishtat. So what happens here? Upa plus Rishtatil. So Rishtat. That's how with Upa it is a different thing. So it's not the Asta Pratyaya. Then Upa plus Rishtat. Uparishtat. So for Uparishtat there is a special sutra. Paschat against special sutra. So again idea is the same, meaning is applied. Same astat pratyaya had it been applied to upari, then also same would the meaning would have been there. But it's not the astat, but same sense comes in uparishta. Similarly, paschat also same sense comes in paschat. So paschat is the word, so pascha. Adesha is there, and then ati pratyaya is there, the paschat. That's how it happens. So all these words have different, etymology. Again, dakshinataha and uttarataha is again different. Dakshinottarabhyam atasuch. And so dakshina and uttara also is atas. So again, instead of astati, that atasuch atas pratyaya, that's how we have dakshinataha uttarataha. So all these words are different derivations. So this astati pratyaya does not apply to all the words, but the meaning is the same. Whatever pratyaya is applied, in place of astat, different pratyaya is applied. So adhastat, then uparistat, paschat is different, purastat, dakshinata is different, uttarata. So idea is that these words denote the saptami, the location, as well as prathama, the very pratipadika. Meaning that, so adhastat means below, and what is below, what is located in below, and below itself, the idea of below. So in all these directions, below and above, at the back, behind and in front, right and left, whatever is located in all these directions, those directions themselves, even the idea of those directions, all of this is bhuma. So saeva idam sarvam. So tato desha tatratyo va padartha. Then called below, and anything that is located there, all sarvopi seveti, all of that is that bhuma alone iti. Sati bhumna anyasmin bhuma hi pratishthitasya, as Bhashyakara says, had there been something different from bhuma, then bhuma could have been established in that. Natadasti, natadasti, there is nothing other than bhuma where it could possibly be established. So that's one way of communicating the advitiyatva, non-duality. The idea is bhuma is advitiya, non-dual. And this is one way of conveying this idea as to how the duality of pratisthita and pratishtha is not there. So duality is not there. One way of describing duality is pratishtha and pratisthita. The ashraya and ashrita. The support and what is supported. So that stands for all kinds of dualities anyway, but then idea is through this question of sage Narada, Sage Sanat Kumara gets an opportunity to communicate that Bhuma is Advitiya. It is one and non-dual. Saeva tu sarvam, Bhuma alone is everything. Atah tasmadaso na kachit pratisthita. Therefore, so Atah means tasmad, that's all you have to say. Therefore, Bhuma is not established anywhere. It is self-existing, self-supported, self-shining. Everything in the universe exists because of something else, shines because of something else, is attractive because of something else. Bhuma or Brahman is self-existing, does not need anything other than for it to exist. So this is something different from what all we know. Whatever we experience is that which we find is always existing somewhere else. Because whatever we experience is always an effect. Is created is an effect. An effect always is established in its cause. So only that which is not the effect and still there. So here we find that whatever is there because of something. Therefore, to imagine that there is a truth that is not because of something. That's the definition of Satyam. So that which is there, not because of something, or because of itself. Everything other than that, because everything other than that is because of something. Whatever we experience is an effect. An effect is because of cause. So that which is not the effect is Bhuma, and there where there is no duality at all. यत्र नान्यत् पश्यतीति अधिकर्तव्यता निर्देशात् स्वयवदस्तादेति च परोक्ष निर्देशात् दृष्टु जीवात् अन्यो भूमा स्यात्. That Bhuma alone is everything, and so still Bhuma may be taken to be different from oneself. Bhuma is everything, that may as well exclude me, and therefore still that Bhuma, which is everything, may be. Even though when you think of everything, that should also include the drashta. Everything should not be confined only to drishyam, it should include, but then since it is our orientation always to exclude ourselves, not count ourselves. Counting 10, you always count others, but don't include yourself. So it's not a Bhuma or Ishvara, we always, what is around is Ishvara, and somehow in our mind that excludes us. And therefore, iti ashanka kasyajit ma bhud. The Bhuma that is everything and Bhuma that is non-dual is nevertheless different from me. That kind of a shanka, or I am different from that conclusion one we should not go away with. अतः अथातः अनंतरम अहंकारादेश. So since this kind of a conclusion can be there on the part of someone, therefore ahankaradesha. The same thing is taught with reference to ahankara or as ahankara. So ahankarena adishyadeti ahankaradesha. Not ahankarasya adesha. Adesha means instruction. This is not instruction about ahankara. Through ahankara it is instruction or as ahankara. Not of ahankara, as ahankara bhuma. So it is bhuma which is instructed here as ahankara. Drashtuhu ananyatva darshanartham bhuma eva nirdishyate. Athato ahankara adesha. So as ahankara now bhuma is being taught. Aham eva dastat, aham uparishtat, aham paschat, aham purastat, aham dakshinatah, aham uttaratah. Aham eva idam sarvamiti. So as aham now, bhuma is taught. So saha bhuma. So seva dastat, so somebody may think that saha means that which is different from I. Because the idea of that would not include I. Therefore, as I it is being taught that I am alone everything. I alone am below, I alone above, I alone am everything. But this bhuma, why do you say? Because same lakshanas are brought up here. Whatever lakshanas of bhuma, adastat, uparishta, paschat, purastat, dakshinata, uttarata, same lakshanas or characteristics apply to aham. Therefore, so the characteristics which are there in bhuma are also the characteristics of aham. aham is aham. So I am Bhuma. Therefore, I, the drashta, is not different from Bhuma. Establishing that's how the oneness of Bhuma and I. Now continue the page 338. Says Anandagiri, Ahankaradeshat Pruthak Atmadeshasya Tatparyam Aha. So this passage now says Atma is everything. First Upanishad said Bhuma is everything. Then it said Aham is everything. Now it says Atma is everything. What's the difference between Aham and Atma? Atma means I. So Ahankaradeshat Pruthak Atmadeshasya. How come the Upanishad give us instruction about Ahankara and then further gives instruction about Atma? What's the need? Therefore, Tatparya. Bhashyakara first explains Tatparya. What is the reason why again Upanishad gives instruction about Atma? Or if you look at the other Tika on line 20, Nanu Ahankaradeshenaiva Drashtu Abheda Siddhehe Atmadeshasya na artha iti asankya. So I am Bhuma, then I is I. So Ahankaradeshana. Ahameva idam sarvam when it said, then I am Bhuma, and therefore I am Drashta, and Drashta that I am is Bhuma. Drashta means what? Nanyat Pashyati, Nanyat Shunoti, Nanyat Vijanati. So Nanyat Pashyati, Anyat Drashta. So Anyat, or Anyat na Pashyati. So that is how Anyat Drashta. Drashta stands different. Anyam Vastu na Pashyati does not see anything different from himself. That's why Drashta, Shrota, Vijnata was mentioned there. So one may think that the Drashta, Shrota, Vijnata which I am is different from Bhuma. So then you have to complete that equation. So it was already completed in the last passage. What's the need now of saying that Atma is everything? Iti ashankya aham shabdena ahankaradi sangada grahana shanka nivritti prayojanam nityaha. That what is aham may not be clear to this fellow. He understands that I am Bhuma. What is that I? So it is possible ahankaradi sangata grahana shanka. One may take this body mind sense complex and may think that this is Bhuma. So that kind of a conclusion one may come away with is possible. So Shanka Nivritti Prayojanam. To eliminate the doubt of the conclusion. Someone may think that I, who is this Upari, Ahankara Dehantan, Bandhan, Agnya, beginning Ahankara to Deha, that's Upadi. That's what I am. That is Bhuma. So, to remove that kind of a conclusion or possibility, Upanishad gives also now the Atma Deshat Bhashyakara says, Ahankarena Dehadi Sanghatopi Adishyade Avivekivihi Ityatah Tadasankama Bhut Iti अथ अनन्तरम् आत्मादेशः आत्मना एव केवलेन सत्स्वरूपेण शुद्धेन आदिश्यते अहंकारेण देहादि संघातोपि आदिश्यते. So in the previous passage, Athato Ahankar Adesha. So now that instruction about Ahankara, and so when we conclude that Dehadi Sanghatovi Arishyate. Along with I. So everybody understands I as Atma. But still, along with that I, all other things also are added normally. It became Ahankara and then Buddhi and Mana and Indriyani and Deha Prana. Everything is also added. So Dehadi Sangatopi. Ahankara is of course I. But that I, someone may think that all the Sanghata beginning from Ahankara to Deha, all this body, mind, sense complex also is included. So I, as I think myself to be, that's this Dehadi Sanghara. So that is being taught as Bhuma, that's what one may conclude. Ityatah tadashanka mahut, the shanka or that conclusion should not be there. One should not go away with this false conclusion. Iti, keeping that in mind, atha anantaram atmadesha. Therefore, now anantaram, having given the adesha or ahankara, now is the adesha or atma. Atma adesha, atma adesha, atmana eva adesha hai. Atmana eva kevalena sat swarupena shuddhena adishyate. So Atma eva kevalena, merely by the Atma. That Atma should not include all this Anatma also. So normally in the idea of Atma, the Anatma of the nature of the Deha, the Sanghata also is included. So this Atmana eva kevalena, merely Atma, non-dual Atma, Sat Swarupena. Atma, that is of the nature of Sat or existence. Shuddhena, not is impure Atma. Not Atma that is mixed up with Anatma as though become impure. Shuddhena Atma. As Satswarupa, as a very existence. The self, Kevala, merely Atma, which is non-dual and pure. So, and sacred as Atma now, this Adesha or instruction is given. When the other Tikakara has a lot to say, line 21. न च अहमेवैदं सर्वमिति उक्तसर्वात्मत्वेनैव तच्छङ्का निवृत्ति वाच्यम्. Somebody may say that the previous passage said, Ahamevaidam sarvam, I alone am everything. So then this conclusion should not arise that this body-mind complex is told to be Bhuman, that, this kind of a shanka, doubt or a conclusion should not arise in anybody. So there is a very clear instruction that I alone am everything. So then how can this doubt arise that this is Dehadi Sanghata? I, possessing I of the nature of the body, mind, sense, complex is everything, that instruction is given. How would that doubt arise? It is now Achyam, don't say that. This can arise in somebody. Vitirikta Atma Pradarshane Tasyeva Anupatte. See, first Aham is taught and then Atma is taught. That means Atma is different from Aham. If Atma is different, Aham, then Aham different from Atma cannot be all of this anyway. So Atma, Aham eva sarvamiti, that cannot be if Atma is different from Aham. Then what do you say? So therefore, if Aham is taken to be body, mind, sense complex, then it cannot be everything. And still Upanishad says that then what? Upahasanatum cha vakyam syat iti bhavati, ahankara is not to be meditated. So aham eva sarvam, we meditate that aham is sarvam. यहाँ भी पूर्वत अधस्तादित्यान उक्तस्य गुण अहंकारस्य आत्मा एव इत्यादि आत्मत्वम् उपदिश्यते. Here also again पूर्ववत as before अधस्तादित्यादिना उक्तस्य भूम्नः. So bhuma save adhastat soparistat. So bhuma, that was just taught in that manner. Same lakshanas, same characteristics अधस्तात् उपरिष्टात् पश्चात् पुरस्तात् दक्षिणतः उत्तरतः भूम्नः अहंकारस्य वा आत्मैवेति आत्मतो उपदिश्यते. So Bhuma alone is Atma because character of Bhuma is a Lakshana character of Atma. Again, character of Ahankara also same characteristics. So Ahankara also is Atma and Bhuma also is Atma because same Lakshanas, Adhastat, Uparistat are taught. So both Ahankara also is Bhuma and Atma also is Bhuma. So in what way? Ahankara grahane badayam samadhikaranyam. Ahankara is Bhuma where the name and form of Ahankara actually has to be discarded and the content of Ahankara, which is Sat Swarupa, which is Shuddha, which is Kevala, that alone is Bhuma. Like Sthanarayam Purusha, this ghost is the post where the ghost is to be negated. In order to know the post also, to know that I Ahankara is Bhuma, the Aham, Vritti, the idea of I-ness or limited individuality has to be given up. Even if you give up that limited individuality, everything will not be given up because the content will remain. Regardless of whatever you do with ornament, you melt it, but gold will remain. So there is something that you can negate and something that you cannot negate. What is incidental? What is mithya? Can be negated. As in case of an ornament, the name and form are incidental. They are mithya and therefore they can be negated. But the gold is satyam, inherent, therefore cannot be negated. So when ahankara is negated, only what is incidental about ahankara alone is negated. Prananeva pranam bhavati vadan vak pashyan chakshuhu. Ahankara has so many notions about himself. And I am a speaker, I am a listener, I am a seer, I am a thinker. They are all incidental. So they are negatable. Negating all of that, what remains? Atma etyo upasita. What remains is Atma or the self pervading all of these thoughts or all of these conclusions, all of these complexes. So ahankara grahane bhadayam samadhikaranyam bhuma grahane tu aikya samadhikaranyam. So being ahankara and Atma also there is the bhada samadhikaranyam and bhuma and Atma there is the mukhya samadhikaranyam. Means the identity in primary sense. In Atma and Ahankara there is oneness, but where the mithya amsha, the mithya aspect of the Ahankara is negated, then it is equal to Atma. Bhuma and Atma are one in the primary sense. Then says, Nanu Atmadeshaneva drashtu abheda siddhehe Ahankaradesha anarthagedi. Says, okay, then give Bhuma adesha and Atma adesha. Because Atma is taken as I, and so when Atma is Bhuma, then the Drashta is Bhuma. Therefore, Drashtu Abheda Siddhe, Bhuma and Drashta are one. That's what one would be able to understand. Ahankara Desha. Then what's the need of saying again that Ahankara is everything? Anarthakasyadiriche. If this is the question, na? Aham Sukhi Ityadi Pratyakshe. Aham Rupena eva Vishayatva Darshanat. केवल आत्म रूपेण प्रत्यक्षता अदर्शनात्. See, aham is a matter of our experience. Atma is not a matter of experience. Aham sukhi ityadi pratyakshe. I am a speaker, I am here, I am happy, I am unhappy. All pratyaksha, these are all the, so the ahankara which manifests as sukhi, dukhi, these are all the manifestations of ahankara. Aham vritti. So happy, unhappy, speaker, thinker, knower, All of these are the manifestations of ahankara, pratyaksha, something that we experience. So ahankara is the subject matter of all these thoughts. Aham sukhi, aham dukhi. So in all of them, aham vakta, aham shrota, everywhere is ahankara, that is the subject of this thought. So aham rupena vishatva darshanat. There, aham is the vishaya or the subject of all these conclusions or all these notions. Kevala atma rupena pratyakshata adarsanat. So atma also is known to us only as ahankara. Atma is not known to us as aham, atma itself. Atma is Satchidananda. It is without attributes, without form, without name, and therefore Karuna Pratyaksha cannot be a matter of experience because it's the content of the experiencer. So the same Atma becomes the object of our experience when it assumes different costumes, such as Drashta, Shrota, Manta, Vijnata, Sukhi, Dukhi. And so Saiva Adhastha Ityadi Nirdesha Prapta Paroksha Tasya Nivrutti Aham Rupena Nirdesha Bhavati. Therefore, Saiva Adhastha Bhuma alone is everything. That Bhuma is taken to be different from oneself, and that difference will go away only when Aham is Bhuma, because I know Aham as myself. See, Atma I do not know as myself. Aham is intimately known as myself. And therefore, it is necessary to say that Aham is Bhuma, so that identity of I and Bhuma is very clear. Atma is still a third entity, even though the word Atma means I. But still, the word Atma does not create in me the sense of, intimately the sense of myself as Aham does. Aham creates in me an intimate sense of I. Atma does not do that. Because Atma is not directly experienced, whereas Aham is directly experienced. And therefore it is very, very helpful to say that Aham is Bhuma. So Aham Rupena eva Nirdeshe Bhavati. That Bhuma is taken to be always something different from me. Brahman is taken to be something different from me. I'm willing to accept that Brahman is all pervasive, Brahman is wonderful, Brahman is non-dual, but that is Brahman. And somehow I always exclude myself from the idea of Brahman or Bhuma. And therefore, so whatever you think you are, that is Brahman. So that parokshatvam of Bhuma or Brahman is eliminated by saying that Aham is Bhuman. So parokshatva, the remoteness is eliminated. And the absolute oneness is stated here. So Tikakara says that simply by saying that Atma is Bhuma, perhaps that would not happen. By saying that Aham is Bhuma, it leaves no doubt that I and Bhuma are one. Because Aham is directly experienced by me. However, it is Sukhi Dukhi, but I experience Aham as immediately. And then when Aham is Bhuma, Bhuma also is immediate or aparoksha. So, Atma will not do that job. That's why Ahankara Desha also is necessary. तथा निर्देश है न अन्यथा. Otherwise, that idea of the immediacy of Bhuman will not happen unless Bhuma is taught as Aham, which I know is immediate. So one thing that I know is immediate, Sakshat Aparokshat Brahman. So Atma is not only Aparoksha but Sakshat. By Nyayikas called Aparoksha is that which is immediately in the experience. So for them, all the Shabda Sparsh is all Aparoksha. But experience of Shabda Sparsha all of it involve the need of the sense organs and the mind. But Sakshat means That which is experienced immediately without the need of the sense organs and mind means myself. So that aham is experiences sakshat aparoksha. And when that is Brahman, then that's another way, Yet sakshat aparokshat, So Brahman, that is sakshat aparokshat. So what is said in Bhadaranyaka is said in a different way here by saying that Bhuma is aham. Therefore, that complex that I am a limited entity will not go away unless it is said that what you think I am limited is Bhuma. That's how Bhada Samanadikaranyam comes. See, what you take to be a ghost is indeed post. That's his sentence. So, when it says Thanurayam Purusha, this Purusha or this thief or ghost is Thanu is a post, meaning that what you take to be ghost is indeed post. Should be very clear. Now, ghost and post cannot be, therefore the idea of ghost has to go. That's how the negation of ghost or that conclusion takes place. Similarly, whatever you take to be you as an individual, limited individual is Bhuma. The limited individual and Bhuma, limitless, cannot be one unless the idea of limitedness is given up. You realize that the idea of limitedness is mithya because what's the reason why I take myself limited? That sense of limitation arises only from identification with Sanghata. So that helps me give the identification and give the conclusion of the limitedness of the self, limitedness of aham. So problem is aham is immediate but taken to be limited. Bhuma is limitless but taken to be different from aham. So Bhuma is aham. So you are Brahman. So Tattvamasi. That's it. Tat because Tat means you are is an immediate thing to me. You means I is immediate thing to me and that is Brahman. Therefore, anyatha na bhuyat tatha nirdesha arthavan. So what then anyatha? If any other way like Atma, then this would not happen. As aham, this happens that there is a badha of whatever is not Bhuman, and that's how one realizes the identity of oneself as Bhuman. किंच आत्मा इति निर्देशेपि न केवल आत्मलाभ है. Even when you say, suppose Atma Adesha hai, Atma eva idam sarvam, then also Tikakara says, Atma iti nirdesha, Atma is Bhuma, suppose that nirdesha is there, then also, न केवल आत्मलाभ है. आत्म शब्द से देहादिशु भी प्रयोगेण संदेहापत्ते है. Because people take body to be the self, Atma, and mind to be Atma. So even if Atma Adesha is given, it may not quite serve the purpose. Eva, that's why. Because the word Atma also is thought to be used for, body, mind, sense, etc. So even if Atma is Brahman, still it does not quite convey. As it did in case of King Janaka. Says, Ataheva Eshade Atma Sarvantara. Upanishad, Eshade Atma Sarvantara. This is your Atma, that is the innermost. Atma evasya jyotirbhavati. Again, the Upanishad, that Atma alone is a very jyoti, is around the light, because of which all Vyavahara is done. Iti uktevi, even though King Janaka was said, so that word Atma was used. Atma is a jyoti. Only Atma is a jyoti. So meaning that the word Atma does not necessarily create the sense of immediacy in a person. So Katamo Yagnivalkya Sarvantara iti. Yagnivalkya, which one is Sarvantara? Eshade Atma Sarvantara, it is saying. The self of yours is Sarvantara, is the innermost. Then he says, Katamo Ayagnivalkya. Then the question is asked, which one is Sarvantara? Or Janaka is told that Atmaivasya Jyotirbhavati Katam Atma iti Prashno. This even King Janaka also says, which is Atma? Which one is Atma? Tadasya Kevala Atma Labhaya Tasya Bhum Abheda Siddhatam Cha Ahankarat Prasang Nirdesha Kartavyayaveti Na Kinchit Anupannam. Tadasya Kevala Atma Labhaya. Therefore, you take Atma as Atma, Kevala Atma, and not something else. Tasya Bhuma Aveda Siddhyartham. There is no samasa here. There is samasa. Bhuma Aveda is samasa. And so, the Bhumna Aveda, that will be the Vigraha. But Bhuma Aveda Siddhyartham, for Aveda, the identity with Bhuma, Cha Ahankarat Prasang Nirdesha Kartavya. Therefore, again, that Atma also is to be very clear that Katam Atma. Because one may take body and the sense organs, mind and prana, etc. as Atma, it is no, none of them is Atma, Bhuma is Atma. So because Ahankara also one has ideas, about Atma also one has ideas, therefore each one of them is taught as identical to Bhuma. That Aham also is Bhuma and Atma also is Bhuma. Between Aham and Atma, Bhada Samadhikaranyam. Between Bhuma and Aham, Bhada Samadhikaranyam. With Atma and Bhuma, Mukhya Samadhikaranyam. Okay. Bhashyakara continues. So says that Anandagi Ukta Atma Vijnanata Kruta Krutyatam Aha. Ukta Atma Vata. So what? That Atma eva adhastar, Atma upanishad, etc. Atma eva idam sarvam. So one who has this knowledge of Atma, Ukta Atma Vijnanavata, for the person, wise person possessing this knowledge of Atma, the Kruta Krutyatamaha. How this knowledge makes a person Kruta Krutya. Krutam, Krutyam, Krutam Yena. The one has done everything that needs to be done. So Kruta Krutyata. So this is in the, as we said earlier also, in the Vedic reference. Because in Vedic culture, a person always grows or is brought up with the idea of kartavya, that I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. That I'm indebted to my parents and ancestors, I'm indebted to the gurus, I'm indebted to the devatas, I'm indebted to this. So many sense of indebtedness is there. Therefore, in order to compensate for indebtedness, then you also have to pay back in terms of your duty. So there was idea of duty so ingrained. And that is the bondage, because then there is a compulsion from me that I have to do something. As long as I feel that I am duty bound, I cannot be at peace with myself, because one duty after the other keeps arising. So Krutyam, which has to be done, the idea which something has to be done in me. So that is also an expression of bondage. So bondage or bandhanam can be, one way of expressing it is the idea of duty, that I have to do this. I'm obliged to do this. That idea of sense of obligation pushes me. Karyatehi avashah karma. A person is made to perform action. He helplessly does something, that idea of duty. So idea of duty also is a bondage, ultimate bondage. So first you use the idea of duty to become free from other bondage. But ultimately, idea of duty also is a bondage. So you use the kartavya, sense of kartavya, in order to become free from sakamatvam, from the sense of desires and stuff like that. And then you come to nishkama karma. But there also ultimately one has to become free from that as well. And therefore, kruta krutya. Krutam, Krutyam, whatever was to be done has been done. Nothing remains for me to be done. I have no more any obligation. I have no more any debt. So that's what gives this person a complete fulfillment. So sense of fulfillment comes when one finds oneself free from any duties or any obligations. So Krutakrutyata is one way, one word, which also expresses the idea of moksha, freedom. Or if you go to the next tika, Savaesha evam pasyaniti uttar vakyasya evam shabdarthamaha. Okay. So let us proceed with the bhashya. Atma eva सर्वतः सर्वम् इति एवम् एकम् अजम् सर्वतः व्योमवत्पूर्णम् अन्यशून्यम् पश्यन् स वा एषः विद्वान् मननविज्ञानाभ्याम् आत्मरतिः आत्मनि एव रतिः रमणम् यस्य सोऽयम् आत्मरतिः. ओ मंत्र वाले बाकी है. अच्छा, ओके, यस यस. अथात आत्मा देशः एव आत्मैव अधस्तात् आत्मा उपरिष्टात् आत्मा पश्चात् आत्मा पुरस्तात् आत्मा दक्षिणतः आत्मा उत्तरतः आत्मैवेदं सर्वमिति. After the adesha of the ahankara, ataha. Since the ahankara, aham may be taken as the karikana sanghata, therefore atma adesha. Therefore it is necessary also to give instruction as atma. Atma eva adhastat. Atma alone is below, and what is below? Atma uparistat. Atma is above, and what is located above? Atma paschat. Atma alone is behind, and what is located behind. Atma purastat. Atma alone is the idea of front, and what is located in the front. Atma dakshinataha. Atma is on the right, the very right, and what is on the right? Uttarataha, the left, and what is left? Atma eva idam sarvamiti. Atma alone is all this. So that's what Bhashyakara explained. Atma eva sarvatah sarvam. Sarvatah in every way. Sarvam, everything. Atma alone is everything in every way. Everything in every way. So not everything in one way. In every way. Leaving no room for any duality at all. So Atma is everything as the Adhishthanam, as this, that and so forth. No, every way. Whatever it is Atma. And so, sarvatah sarviti ekam ajam sarvatah vyomvat purnam. In evam ekam, that's why Atma is ekam, one. Ekam iti saranagiri sajatiya bhedarahityasya uktehi. Atma alone is one, means there is no other Atma, sajatiya vrittihi. So sajatiya bhed and vritti, Atma is one without a second Atma. So there is nothing like me. As Swami used to say two things. There is nothing like me, there is nothing other than me. First is, there is nothing like me. Then, nothing is other than me. So first, nothing like me. You are unique. Nothing like me. In what sense? Because I am the only subject. Everything other than me is object. I am alone a conscious entity. Everything else is unconscious. And therefore, there is nothing like me. And that still leaves the two, the self and the non-self, the subject and object. Then you analyze, is object really separate from the subject? You say, I, so what is the boundary of that I? You say, I am the seer, I am the subject. So what's the boundary of the subject? So what is object? Object is outside the boundary of the subject. So usually I think that the subject, the boundary is the body, and everything outside the body, I'm not. Or is not me. But then the body is the boundary. What about the body itself? Then you realize that body also is an object of my perception, object of my experience and knowledge. So slowly boundaries also keep dropping because boundaries themselves also cannot be said to be separate from the subject. Never, nothing stands apart from subject. That I, the subject, extends everywhere. The conscious being that I am, the consciousness that I am, is all inclusive. And therefore, nothing stands apart from I. Therefore, there is nothing other than me. First, nothing like me. So everything other than I excluded. But that what is excluded still in my mind stands apart from I. So then I say, what is I? So what is the extent, the spread of I? Then realize that something cannot be known, an object cannot be known as object unless subject is there. When I know the moon, I, the consciousness, must be there in the moon to include the moon, otherwise moon cannot become the object of my consciousness. So whatever I think of, all is in my consciousness. So nothing is apart from consciousness. So it's nothing like consciousness because everything else is thought to be inert. But what is inert or jadam also is not separate from consciousness. Therefore, there is nothing apart from I. That's why I am boundless. So first, I am boundless and non-giver. So that's how ekam, Sri Ramananda ekamiti sajate bhedarahityasya ukte, that there is nothing like me. I am the unique one. That ajam, birthless, sarvatah, vyomat, purnam. Vyomat like space, purnam. So all full and complete, sarvatah, in every way complete like the space. I mean, not like, but space is presented as an illustration. So how the idea of all pervasiveness and completeness is associated with the space, like that, I am all complete, all filling up, not excluding anything. Anyashunyam, devoid of the idea of anyam. And so anyashunyam iti vijate veda shunyatma uchyate. Atma is devoid of any anya, anything otherness. There is no otherness here, meaning that there is nothing apart from me. So sajate veda shunyam, nothing like me. Vijate veda shunyam, nothing apart from me. Then says the Upanishad, Sava eshaha evam pashyan evam manvanaha एवं विजानन् आत्मरतिः आत्मक्रीडः आत्मविसुनः आत्मानन्दः सस्वराट् भवति तस्य सर्वेषु लोकेषु कामचारो भवति. सवै एष एवं पश्यन्. That's what Bhashyakara explains. Evam Pashyan. Evam means in what manner? So Bhasya ekam ajam sarvatah vyomat purnam anyashunyam. Evam. In this manner when one sees the Atma. Evam. The Atma eva sarvatah sarvam. Atma alone is everything in every way. In every way means not excluding anything. Lying down, some fellow is good. Everything, it includes good, bad, and indifferent, everything. And every way, whichever way it is. It is mine, yours, here, there, wherever it is. However it is. It is my friend, enemy, how, in whatever way it is. So it includes everything, but we include everything already as long as they are friends. Moment that enemies you don't include, there is no everything in any, whichever way it may be. Ishavasvidam sarvam, and there was sarvatah and sarvam in every way. Evam, so evam means in this manner one comes to know. Ekam is non-dual, ajam, birthless and never changeless. Sarvata purnam, complete in every way, in all directions, every way. Anya shunyam. So instead of advitiyam or anya shunyam, divide the idea of anya. That means that in the mind of the wise person, the idea of other doesn't remain. Because I is all inclusive, there is no other, there is no otherness at all. The idea of otherness, this is mine, that idea completely goes away. Everything becomes atmiya, everything becomes I or mine, at least minimum. So evam pashyan, Upanishad, evam pashyan, evam manmanah, evam vijanan. So आत्मा हमारे द्रष्टव्य है, श्रोतव्य है, मंतव्य है, निधिध्यासितव्य है. द्रष्टव्य है, आत्मा must be immediately known, realized. How? श्रोतव्य है, आत्मा must be heard from the teacher. मंतव्य है, must be reflected upon. निधिध्यासितव्य है, must be assimilated with deep meditation. So this Shrotavya, that is, is skipped here. Evam Pashyan, Drashtavya. Manvanaha means, so Mantavya, Nididhyasitavya, Vijanan are included. So anyway, Bhashyakara said, Savaya Esha Vidwan, Manana Vijnanabhyam, by Mananam and by Vijnanam. So we have to say Vijnanam, Nididhyasanam, and Mananam always is preceded by Shravanam. So Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasanabhya, Atmarati, as a result of knowing the self as it is, as all inclusive, as one, non dual, devoid of Atma, devoid of the idea of otherness, all inclusiveness. One becomes Atmarati. Atmaneva rati ramanam yasya swayam atmarati. Therefore, one revels in oneself. Rati means reveling. Call it rati, ramanam, reveling. One revels in oneself. Because there is nobody else. So Bhashyakara explains that Atma Kridaha, one sports with oneself. So reveling is with oneself, sporting with others. So Atma Kridaha, Bhashyakara explains that. So तथा Atma Kridaha, Dehamatra Sadhana Ratihi, Bhachya Sadhana Krida, Loke Stribihi, Sakibhischa, क्रीडते इति दर्शनात् न तथा विदुषः किन्तर्हि आत्मविज्ञान निमित्तम् एव उभयं भवति इत्यर्थः. So आत्मनेव रतिः रमणं यस्य स्वयं आत्मरतिः, one whose rati or reveling is in oneself is called Atmarati. Tatha Atma Kridaha, one who sports with oneself, plays with oneself, enjoys with oneself. So Bhashyakara explains the difference. Rati Kridayoho avantarvedam darshayati. Rati also is reveling, Krida also is sporting. So what's the difference between them? So Bhashyakara shows the difference between the two. Says Dehimatra sadhana ratihi. Meaning that reveling is within oneself. For reveling, you do not need anything other than yourself. All manorathas, people keep on, in the mind. Think about something that is pleasant to you and enjoy it. So reveling in something which is of course enjoyable to you. You may revel in Lord Krishna, but still you do not need anything because it's a mental thing. Reveling in mind, thinking about what you love, thinking about what you enjoy gives you pleasure. So that pleasure is within one's own self. One does not require anything other than oneself. So deha matra sadhana. Anyway, so it is accomplished by one's own self. Ratihi. Bahya sadhana krida, but to sport, to play cricket, to play cards, to play something, you require somebody. So playing requires somebody. And therefore, bahya sadhana krida. Krida or the play calls for a sadhanam, a means other than yourself. Loke strivi sakhivischa kridati darshanat. People play with women, with their friends, etc. And so that's what we see. That play always involves something other than yourself. Reveling, you alone are enough. No tatha vidusha, but not for this wise person. Kim tarhi, that he does not require any other than himself to sport also, then what? Atmavijnana nimittameva ubhayam bhavati ityartha. Both reveling in oneself as well as sporting with all of this takes place merely by virtue of the knowledge of the self. Because self includes everything. So if reveling is in the self, it is the self. And what I thought to be different from me while playing, I realize that's all I am only. The different does not remain. So not that he has to sport or anything, but the kind of pleasure that you get by reveling in something which is pleasant to you is included in the ananda that he has. This gives him the happiness. That includes the happiness that would come by reveling or thinking about something that you enjoy, pleasant to you. And the happiness that would come by playing with something that you like. That's all it is. Not to play the revels, but then Atmarati, Atmakriya. To get the pleasure of Rati, he doesn't need anything other than himself. To get the pleasure of Krida also, he does not need anything other than himself. That's what is meant here. Okay, we'll continue. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Shankaram Shankara